On Tuesday, loaded up and ready to roll. Graziano, Neek is here. Tannenbaum has made his way here. The big swagoo Marcus Spears has got a lot to say this morning. And we begin. We will play patty cake all morning long. As we begin with last night, Jalen Hurts. What do we think of this suit here, Mr. Foxworth?
Outstanding. Azalea Pink. He looked like an R&B singer.
We're tied at 7 in the first, and then Jalen. Oh, it's a jump pass.
Tebow time. I love it. Hit him with that pose. Heisman.
Dallas Goedert on the touchdown. Eagles up 14-7. Now, there's a lot of moments that the Eagles would like to have back, and here comes one of them. A.J. Brown seems to have this in his hands, and then
it was an outstanding read, outstanding throw against cover 4, but A.J. Brown bobbles the ball, then a great interception by Forrest.
It's Derek Forrest who makes the play there, one of many that you'll see on the night. 6 minutes to go in the half now. Taylor Heineke, Curtis Samuel for 23.
It's impressive. Off his back foot, they overloaded that cover 4 zone, and Heineke was playing well last night. That was another one of his great plays.
And then in honor of our friend Jeff Saturday.
Don't give up. Fight.
Brian Robinson dragging defenders. Look at, he looks down to see where the goal line is. He's got to get the ball just there, and he does. Commanders, a 17-14 lead. Start of the fourth quarter. Washington still in front. Hurts, Devontae Smith. Look at the shake.
This is cover 0 with the spy, and Hurts gets it out into Smith, and you can't tackle him in the open field. So around him, 6 points.
They're within 2, 23-21. But again, the mistakes from the Eagles. Dallas Goedert, ball's going to come out.
Yeah, it's an outstanding punch, created the fumble right there, but the replay is even more interesting than that specific angle. Dallas Goedert hold on to the ball, but there might be a reason why.
Yeah, take a look at the blatant face mask here from Jamin Davis. Not called. By the way, it's not a touchdown because Davis is down on the recovery. Commanders turn it into a field goal, so 26-21. Hurts with another chance. Quez Watkins with an opportunity, but watch as he gets up to run. Another of the Eagles' self-inflicted wounds.
Another perfect pass from Hurts against cover 4, scissors route, but Watkins got to hold on to the ball. Another turnover. There's Forrest again.
And then look at how this game ends with a $1:45 to play. 3rd and 7, Washington. If the Eagles get a stop, they're going to have a chance. Taylor Heineke is going to give himself up, and Brandon Graham touches him and gets called for the penalty.
He took a Vlade Divac's flop right there. This is a charge. It's a good play by Heineke, but it's disgusting.
That's
in the game on that.
How they don't get it back. Jalen Hurts can't believe it. Heineke's all excited, and that is all she wrote. Jalen Hurts and the Eagles no longer perfect.
Overall lack of detail and execution, and today it got us. I think there have been games in the past where you'd hear us say maybe leaving money on the table, opportunities that we didn't take advantage of, and I look at this game and I say we were repeat offenders of that, and today it got us. And it's something we have to learn from. It's just something we really already know. It's just something that we have to fix and ultimately control the things we can in the end when we're out there on the field.
You and I both said at the same time, he's a coach's son. And he's saying exactly what the coach would beg him to say.
I know I'm supposed to leave that game and have bad things to say about the Eagles, but watching Jalen Hurts, the way he played, had he got the ball back, he was just answering every question, and then the literal answering of questions. He's like a perfect quarterback, it feels like right now.
Yeah, so we're going to get to all of that. I have plenty of time here, Marcus. I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start small picture and then work our way to big. Let's start with 2 moments in the game. The last play, or the last meaningful play, where Heineke gives himself up and they call the unnecessary roughness on Brandon Graham. What do we, as a defensive lineman, Marcus, what do we think of that?
I know I'm expected to go crazy, but I think this is the right call. I mean, you look at Brandon Graham, and it's not about how hard he hit Taylor Heineke. It's about how many steps before he went to the ground after Taylor Heineke gave himself up. And look, I don't like siding with the referees, but they're going to call this. And if they don't call this right now, then they got a problem down the rest of the way. Brandon Graham was far enough away, who I think this call was on, to get out of the way of Taylor Heineke. I hate that the game ended like that, but this is the league that we're in, and for us to keep getting mad about what they're going to call in these situations, to me, is just asinine, because they going to call it. He took 3 steps after Taylor Heineke took a knee on the ground.
I'll be ass a 10, I'll be ass 11, I'll be all ass you want, because that's garbage. And we do not need to stand here and accept that foolishness. foolishness. That's trash. Like, you don't want to end the game that way. I get it. Jaywalking's illegal. I did it this morning, and if a police officer would have came up to me and said, hey, I'm going to have to detain you for jaywalking, I would have said that was ridiculous too. Like, ending a game on this, he doesn't hit him. It's Heineke selling it. I get it. He could have stopped, but he didn't. We don't have to accept it.
He's trying to stop. He's trying to hold him up as he touches him. He can't stop his momentum. Mike T, that's a terrible call.
No, it's not. As Swagoo said, we have the answers to the test. You can't breathe on the quarterbacks anymore. It's like the DJ Moore play. We hated the fact that the game ended because he took his helmet off, but we know what the rules are. And if you're Brandon Graham, you got to know, avoid him.
He's sliding. He's trying to stop, and he's trying to hold him up when he gets there.
Y'all want to fight. Y'all want to fight this morning.
NBA would have called him for traveling.
No.
He took 3 whole
Absolutely
steps.
not.
Well, that's where you're wrong. They don't call travel in the NBA.
If it was high school basketball, I would have called him for traveling.
Yeah.
Right. Look, you know who else thinks Brandon Graham needs to be more careful in this situation? Brandon Graham, who after the game said, I need to be more careful in that situation. He's been in the league over a decade. He knows the rules. He knows how it's officiated. You don't get near the quarterback.
I don't like him giving himself up that way. Go ahead, Marcus.
Mike T. Don't let Greeny and Foxy rile y'all up on this. It's the right call. It's the right call. We gonna see it if it happen again.
It might be the right call. It doesn't mean it's a good call. It's a big difference.
That is a big difference. And this was a great game, national stage. You would love to see Jalen Hurts with the ball and see what happens. But to Graz's point, Brandon Graham knows himself. In this day and age, that's a penalty.
He's supposed to know that he's going to drop to a knee in that situation.
If you breathe on the quarterback.
Right there, he's already done it. He's got 5 more
Why
yards
would you
to
put yourself in harm's way?
When I get mad, I call you Greeny.
In the meantime, Marcus, the same officials who were able to make that call somehow missed Dallas Goedert almost getting his head ripped off on a play where he winds up fumbling and the ball going in the opposite direction. So I understand how the Eagle fan wakes up.
Get me riled up.
I'm getting riled up about that. Go, Marcus, go.
Because they absolutely missed that damn call. And to me, that was the play that turned the tide of this football game based on what Philadelphia had been doing all game long. You can't miss that. You cannot miss that. And this is the argument that people have for if these type of things should be reviewable, especially on a turnover. I thought it was on turnovers always reviewable. You should be able to backtrack and see this face mask, overturn the fumble, and call that penalty and go forward. I agree with you there. That's the one that would have pissed me off. The Brandon Graham one, that call gonna get made every game we watch, I believe.
To be clear, whether or not it's a fumble is automatically reviewed. Right. Whether or not there was a face mask or any other penalty on the play is not part of that review, and that's why it doesn't come back. Graziano, what do you think of this?
While you watching, you want to change it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You say the Eagles fans are upset. I think it's a shame it's the first team ever to lose because of a missed call. I think
they were unbeaten, Dan. There was the pursuit of perfection.
I know, and it would have been great to see. Look, I don't like talking about officiating. I like talking about the players and the coaches. That's what. But the officiating is a game condition. I will say this, and you know my feelings on replay review, which is that it's a scourge and should be abolished immediately. Yeah. But if you're gonna have it, then I think you can make player safety related plays reviewable, right? Like the face mask is a player safety rule. If you're gonna review stuff, then that's one that I think should be prioritized.
Okay, now let's move to the players and coaches. I said we'd start small picture, and those were the small picture. Now let's go to the big picture. Mike Tannenbaum, the Philadelphia Eagles, allowed the Washington Commanders to run the ball 49 times last night for 152 yards. So the question on the screen is, what weaknesses were shown by the Eagles in the team's first loss of the season? They only had the ball for 19 and a half minutes.
Their run defense is 25th in the NFL, and the best defense you could play against Jalen Hurts is when he's watching the opposing team's offense. And there's 3 defensive-minded coaches in the NFC. Pete Carroll, Ron Rivera from last night, and Todd Bowles. And if any of those 3 teams see Philadelphia again or in the playoffs, I promise you they're going to take out this blueprint, and this is how you're going to try to beat the Eagles.
The Cowboys, too, in theory, should be running the ball. Is that their fatal flaw?
I mean, it's their flaw. It's not going to be fatal. No. We watched the game last night. The reason why they lost was because of those turnovers. Those weren't even like forced turnovers. It was like fumbles, which are somewhat random. A.J. Brown, one of the best receivers in football, tapping the ball to Forrest. These are things that are not replicable. So, yes, their run defense isn't perfect, but no team is. If that's going to be their weakness, I don't see them getting stopped in the NFC. Not the way Jalen Hurts is playing.
And it's going to get better, right? Because Jordan Davis, their rookie first-round pick, who we know is 8 feet tall and 500 pounds, he hasn't been playing.
Yeah.
And Hembo sent me a stat. This is my Marcus Spears impression. Hembo sent me a stat. Without Jordan Davis on the field, the Eagles allow 5.1 yards per carry. With him on the field, it's 3.9. That's the difference between the third best and the 29th best in the league. Significant absence, and he is not out for the season.
So, Marcus, this weekend comes to an end with the Eagles losing a game and the Vikings winning a thriller in Buffalo. And so I ask you the following question. Do the Eagles remain, in your mind, the team to beat in the NFC?
Absolutely, they do. Absolutely. Now, last night, look, everybody's going to make it about the Eagles. Give the Washington Commanders credit. The Washington Commanders dominated time of possession in this game, and turnovers are a thing. That is how you beat good teams. You get them to turn the football over. So I want to say that first. Now, back to the Eagles. Clearly, to me, still the best team in the league. That run defense is going – the issue with the run defense is this. Washington did a good job of staying with it, and it opened things up for them downfield. Don't forget about Terry McLaurin having his way and making plays down the field. Don't forget about those plays that Taylor Heineke was able to make over the middle of the field. There were things that resulted from the Washington Commanders being able to run the football. But Philly, to me, still, last night, it looked easy for them offensively outside of the turnovers when they were moving the football. I don't expect Darius Slay to give up what he gave up last night down the stretch of the season. I think Philly is fine. Still think they clearly the best team in the NFC.
All right, a little later this morning, Dominique is going to give us his power rankings. We will see if the Eagles are